My name is Keith Jackson. The exceptional people that we will honor were selected and ranked solely on their accomplishments during their collegiate years. No consideration to whatever happened after they left the campus. So let's have some fun exploring the exploits of these student athletes who have been voted Big Ten icons. This time out, number 15, Minnesota's Dave Winfield. In the 1950s and 60s, summer days saw young boys take to the baseball fields in the Twin Cities, all of them nursing big league dreams.
When I grew up in the late 50s, early 60s, baseball was the #1 sport in America. It wasn't football. They didn't care about basketball. It wasn't about NBA. Baseball was the biggest sport in America. That's who the heroes were, Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle and people like that. I was about 12 years old when people could ask me, what do you want to do? I said, I want to play professional baseball. He said, shut up, man, you don't know what you want to play. I said, yes, I do. And I just stuck with it.
When we were playing pee-wee ball, even playing the pickup stuff, you just could tell if you were better than some of the kids, and we just seemed to be.
It was a time when kids were kids, and we went out and we figured it out. We went out, and no matter what was happening at home, you know, you had each other, you had your teammates. And baseball being the national pastime, it was, you know, it was kind of a lifesaver for a lot of us.
Oxford Park in St. Paul was the location where Dave and his brother Steve's baseball talents first emerged, and where they met the man who would nurture and grow their precocious abilities.
Bill Peterson was the recreation leader at the Oxford playground when I grew up.
The two Winfield boys were very talented physically, but they got away with a lot of stuff. They didn't do anything fundamentally correct. David was 10, Stephen was 11. That was 1961. I knew the next year they would be playing for me. They would be moving up and playing for me. So I kept telling them, get by with all this stuff this year, but you ain't getting by with it next year. I said, I'm going to teach you real baseball.
He had a great deal of influence on me, probably from 10, 12 years old and all the way through high school, all the way through my career and life.
David was just one of many kids down at this local playground, but baseball became our tie. And I think through that baseball, Steve and David, we became very close.
The prodigious talents of Dave and his brother Steve began to create quite a buzz in the youth baseball world around the Twin Cities.
The Attucks Brooks Legion team that Dave played for with his brother Steve, they were known as the Winfield brothers around Minnesota baseball circles. Attucks Brooks came up to Cold Spring for a Legion game on a beautiful summer night, and they filled the little ballpark, and they were like rock stars.
One time we were in a state tournament up in St. Cloud. We were walking into the facility that was going to house us. And there's 3 kids walking down. He walks up to them.
I asked this one young man, I said, hey, have you ever heard of Dave Winfield? He said, no. I said, well, when we're done with this, you will.
He was funny. He was a clown. He liked to, but it was a serious clown, too. At the same time, when he could goof off, he would also be doing something that was very high level.
I ended up winning the MVP of the tournament. I know I hit a couple of home runs in a game. I pitched, I did everything. But the coach said, don't you ever do that again. It wasn't appreciated. So I didn't do that anymore. I didn't do that, but I had to get it out that one time.
Then after that, then I began to look at him a little bit different. I still kicked his butt just as much as ever before because I knew that was important. But all of a sudden, I knew he had some talent that was far and above most of the kids that he was playing with.
Big Ten Icon, presented by Discover. It pays to discover. Dave Winfield graduated from St. Paul Central High School in 1969 and faced a decision. The Baltimore Orioles drafted him in the 40th round and offered Dave $30,000 to play professional baseball. But heeding the advice of family and friends, Dave chose a different path.
I knew I was going to college. My mother had gone a few years to the University of Minnesota, and I had aunts and uncles that had gone there, so I anticipated I would go there. So I had some offers looking back, but the recruitment process is nowhere like it is today. So the opportunity came up. They offered me a scholarship, and we had little to no money for that, so I said, absolutely. I'm going to the University of Minnesota.
Dave arrived on campus in Minneapolis with a half scholarship to play baseball and a new reality on the diamond.
My whole life I'd pitched, I hit, I ran, get to college. No more hitting, no more shortstop, just pitching.
As a pitcher, he could throw BBs, aspirin tablets, and his motion was very smooth.
I'm going to go to my grave remembering that when he pitched, there were a couple things that you noticed right away. The first one is that at 6'6" and a semi-Juan Marichal kind of windup, it looked like his fingernails were over home plate by the time he let go of the pitch. And the other thing is that almost every pitch was like a Rafael Nadal or a Maria Sharapova grunt. Whoa! And that pitch would come in there.
And I enjoyed pitching immensely once I learned how to do it, because once you stood on the mound in the middle of the field, it was up to you.
At his size, it's not that easy to be that big and throw a baseball with command, which he could do, and velocity and movement.
I think it was his size, and then you think, well, you know, guy that big, he's going to have a little stumbling around, you know, but there was no stumbling around. He was very, very athletic.
Winfield was undefeated on the mound for the freshman team, and during his sophomore season with the varsity, he posted an 8-3 record with a 1.48 ERA, the lowest in the Big Ten. And during the winter of his sophomore year, Winfield had a chance encounter with Minnesota's head basketball coach, Bill Musselman, a meeting that would add another chapter to the legend of Dave Winfield.
He was playing intramural basketball just to have something to do in the winter and stay in shape.
They were called the Soulful Strutters, and they were an intramural team. And they were just killing people. The Musselman saw him play.
Musselman first came in, and he kind of had his guys and didn't know about David. And then there was one of the assistant coaches was watching a intramural basketball game, and David lit up the basketball court.
They said, you got to play basketball. Nah, I'm playing baseball. So anyway, they convinced me my junior year. They said, look, we will give you a full ride, not the half scholarship baseball gives you, if you play basketball with us. So now you're talking. So I changed scholarships, but I told them, I said, I have to play baseball first.
Winfield joined the Gophers basketball team as a junior, and he was an instant contributor, using his rare blend of size and athleticism to overcome his relative inexperience on the hardwood.
So I played. I'm about 6'6", 225, 230, but if you're as quick as a little guy, strong as a big guy, and leap like the tall guys, you know, you used to say, I play 6'9". We kid about it, but I would definitely get up and, you know, grab some strong rebounds. Bill Musselman, rest his soul, he would say I was maybe the best rebounder that he ever had.
Here's somebody that, you know, didn't go through the AAU program and didn't play basketball for 15 years and, you know, move up there. Here's somebody that hardly really played on a competitive level, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's in the Big Ten, and he's playing as well as anybody.
You know, you watch the NBA, those guys are athletes. And Dave was that type of athlete, a guy who could, with size, with hand-eye coordination, with agility, run the court, certainly could bang bigger bodies. You know, that's a unique talent.
It just goes to show that all the work you do can't really overcome just the guy being blessed by God with an unbelievable amount of ability, and that was Dave Winfield.
Playing two sports, I figured I could do it the first year and then I would leave it alone. But as they saw me play in the athleticism and the strength and compared to other people. They said, you must play basketball. So choosing to play basketball as well, it was a good thing.